Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cathedral check-in. It's been a couple of months. We took the summer off, but so we might be a little bit rusty as we get back into things, but here we are for our September Cathedral check-in. And there's lots to talk about today, so I want to get right into it. But I'm here with the Dean, and Ansley, you're going to tell us a little bit about the new proof of vaccine card and what that means for the Cathedral. So why don't you jump right in, Ansley?
Right. So people know that just very recently, Dr. Bonnie Henry put out a new public health order requiring people to provide proof of vaccination, proof of one dose starting the 13th of September, and then after 24th of October, proof of 2 doses of vaccine. This does not apply to worship services, so there will be no need to provide proof of vaccination to come into worship at the cathedral. But we are asking those who are not vaccinated if they would please consider joining by live stream until they are able to be vaccinated. That just provides an extra layer of safety during this time when the Delta variant is causing so much trouble amongst us. And of course, we are still requiring everybody to wear a mask when they come to worship. In terms of people who visit the cathedral as tourists, for instance, during the week, the space is being treated much the way you would treat a grocery store or a library. So there's no need to present proof of a vaccination, but again, masks and distancing are required.
Okay, so the big points there seem to be if you're coming to church, you're not going to have to show a vaccine card, but we're encouraging people to stay home if they're not fully vaccinated. So that's the summary?
Pretty close.
Yeah, and what about things like meetings at the cathedral or groups like yoga or AA, or how does that work?
Right. So our diocese is, out of an abundance of caution, asking us to look for proof of vaccination for any type of internal meeting that takes place at the cathedral. So administrative meetings, Bible studies, that sort of thing. Just to be extra cautious. So that is in place. And we have arranged that once you have shown us your proof of a vaccine, then we won't ask you again. At least we hope that we will remember that you have told us that. Concerts, we do definitely need proof of vaccination. And there are a number of, in this interim at least, for the next week or so, there are a number of possibilities for how you can do that. And rather than try and list them here, I encourage people to go to our website where there is a document in full view which will list the possibilities for you. And again, masks are required and distancing at concerts. Now, Mark, you were part of our conversation about that. Have I forgotten anything?
I don't think so. And for those that are curious about the real nitty-gritty details, there is currently on the front page of the website in our news section, you'll find a document, a news article called The Vaccine Card in the Cathedral, What Does It Mean for You? And this outlines all of the requirements for specific types of activities at the cathedral. So again, like we were saying, services are different, for example, from concerts. Our in-person cathedral group meetings and outside group meetings all have specific instructions, all quite simple and easy to follow. But if you want to look at those details, they are there. In terms of concerts, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Ansley, I think our first one is September 25th, where this will actually apply. So that means that's still within the time frame of a single dose. So those that are coming to the September 25th concert have to show a vaccine card that shows at least one dose. And then the changeover happens in October. Is that right?
That's right. That's right. So please do allow a little more time. We will have extra people at the door to help with this, but anything you can do to make sure we can get everybody in time for the concert to begin would be helpful. I'm kind of low tech. I have this kind of old cell phone, and so I wasn't able to do the fancy schmancy screenshot, but I did manage to take a picture of my my vaccine card once I got it up on my computer. And also I took a picture of my driver's license, because an electronic version of your government ID is also acceptable. And now I have both of those in my gallery of pictures, and I can just open them both, and I only need one device with me. So if that's a helpful tip for people, please help yourself.
And I've heard of people printing them off too, which I don't want to give false information, but I think that's also acceptable, right? To print off the
It is. Yes, it is. And it will remain so as far as I understand.
Great. So that's sort of the pressing upfront news here in September. Obviously, we've been doing lots of thought around this and around our reopening. And as you're aware, whether you've been joining us online or in person, over the past few months, we've been slowly and cautiously and consciously trying to find ways to gather again as a community. And this vaccine card is our sort of next way that we're moving through the pandemic. In terms of moving forward, I want to pivot a little bit to something else that's on our minds coming up in the next little while, and that's looking ahead to our future as a cathedral community. And so you have a couple of things planned coming up around that. Can you tell us about it?
We do. We had really hoped to have a welcome back party on the 26th of September. And sadly, we just can't have anything that looks like a reception. But we are still going to have a fall launch. And so on the 26th is the Sunday closest to the cathedral's Festival of Dedication. So the dedication of the current cathedral, which was September 29th in 1929. And so we thought we would come back because people have been missing the space, and we would focus the service on those aspects of the cathedral that are focal points in our worship. So the altar, the lectern, the font. And as part of that celebration, we also have, Mark, you're involved in this, we're putting together a display of various images of the cathedral as it has appeared over this past nearly 100 years. Maybe you could say a word about that. You and Kate Newman have been working on this.
Yeah, Kate and I have been sort of digging through archival photos and finding different images, especially images of the cathedral interior over the years, right back to the first and second buildings, and also to the way our own building now has evolved over the last 90 years. So expect to see that in the coming weeks. We're still working on some logistics, and with the time constraints and access to archives and things, we're still not quite sure exactly what form that will take yet, but you'll be seeing something in the coming weeks.
And I'm kind of excited about that because, as you know, it's often said a cathedral is never finished. And you just have to look at cathedrals in Europe that have more than one architectural style, because it took them hundreds of years to add this tower or change that door. And that's really been our story too. We think of the cathedral the way it is as the way it's always been, but it hasn't always been as it is now. And once again, we find ourselves asking, is our space arranged in such a way that it is really meeting our needs as a worshiping and serving community? And so we want to have those conversations with as many people as possible. And I hope by now that everybody has received at least one notice of a couple of focus group type meetings that we're going to have also near the end of September, one on a Friday afternoon, the 24th, and one on a Saturday morning the next day, September 25th. And our hope is to ask people what they value most about the cathedral as it is, what about their experience of the cathedral impedes the kind of work that we we want to be doing, and then to really think about some of the things that are very important to us in terms of our mission. And if we had a clean slate, what would we have available to us? So this is, as we say, whatever it is we decide is not something we're going to be able to get accomplished in the next 10 minutes or even probably 10 years. But it's good for us to have a long-range plan so that we're not like the roadworks department having to dig up work that we just did because we didn't think of something. So that's coming along, and I really hope that as many people as possible can attend one of those. Helps to let us know if you're coming, just so that we have an idea of numbers, because we want to keep people safe.
I was going to ask that. Is there anything that people need to do in advance, either registering or how does one go to one of these groups?
Well, you can just turn up, and again, on the website, on the events page, you'll be able to see the exact time. It is helpful to either call the office or email front desk at cathedral.bc.ca. That's our Alex Harvey's email address, just to let her know which one you'll be coming to. And bring a mask, and you will need to bring proof of vaccination.
Mm-hmm. Ansley, thank you so much for going through some of these upcoming things, as well as we're navigating through the time we're in now, as well as where we're going in the future. So
we weren't as rusty as we thought we were going to be.
Yeah, indeed. So looking forward to another one of these. And but for now, I think we'll sign off. Thanks again for your input here, and thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Thanks. Bye now.